Cup Series at New Hampshire. My name's Joseph Lester, and alongside me here tonight is Tony Trapasso. How you doing, buddy? Oh yeah, for sure. We're definitely going to be seeing a lot of battling out here tonight as the top six or top seven's only separated by less than 2 tenths. Yeah, in my league race I had on Thursday, I actually got caught by that bump and spun it around on lap 6 and it ended my night, which was unfortunate, but we'll just have to see if that really does become calamity during this race. And as I pull that up, um, it looks like Alex Murray will be on pole, and second will be Matt White. Third, Hino Alonso. Fourth, Austin Story. Fifth will be RJ Root. Sixth will be Randy Spivey. Seventh, Joe Stafford. Eighth will be Joshua Ward. Ninth, Ryan Samuelson. 10th will be JC Gibson. Tony, you? Well, this track eats up the tires, and um, they usually always go down to the last set of tires, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But you sure?
No, it's there. There's sound.
All right. Well, we had a little
There-
bit of technical difficulties there, but
Probably I'm muted. So turn on your desktop audio, sir.
we got it. But
There we
um,
go.
just took a little bit of messing around with it, and we're about to go back green here next lap.
As the field starting to form up, it's going to be a good one as the lights have gone out on the iRacing pace car. Murray going to lead them down to green. This is going to be a fun one for sure, Joseph.
Oh yeah, for sure. As they roll through turns 1 and 2, I'm gonna go ahead and make my race pick since I'm more familiar with the league, and then you can kind of make a pick if you want
Sure.
to. But I'm gonna go ahead and take the obvious with Alex Murray. He's been dominant all season with 6 wins. But RJ Root, who starts sixth, could also potentially battle with him.
I was going to say it's hard to bet against RJ Root, but we're about to find out as the field works its way through the 3-4 complex. The only thing that's left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some lobster bisque, because it's time to get it on in New England. Race fans, it's show time.
And as they wait for green flag, it's out and away. Here we go. Alex Murray hits a huge jump. RJ Root sends it 3 wide into turn one. Where did he come from? As he goes from sixth to second in a corner.
In absolutely no time trying to reel in Murray. Didn't get the qualifying attempt he was looking for as White and Alonso go door to door going into turn number 3 for third. We are just gangbusters right now. It's an absolute slugfest, and we're only one lap into it.
Alonso almost hits the wall there coming out of four. That's going to be a trouble spot out of each corner, but Matt White slides up a little bit, trying to force him out of the groove. No give there as Alonso finally has to lift out of the throttle. Now
Alonso
Austin
almost ate the
Story
wall.
tries going around him.
Absolutely. Story got a good run coming off of 2 as Alonso had to really check up to stay out of the concrete, as right now Alex Murray is just walking away from this field over a second to the good over RJ Root, who's got his hands filled with Matt White right now as White is filling Root's mirror.
Yeah, Matt White's most likely on the same setup as Alex Murray and RJ Root, as they are aligned and affiliated, Cyclone and FFRR and the Prodigy Esports Alliance, but it's basically a fixed setup between the top three.
It is at that, as just looking back through the field, not a lot of movement deep in the pack right now. Biggest mover is going to be Seba Cornez in the 14, as he is now working on the 36 of Brad Gunn. That is your battle for 14th as they go door to door down the back chute.
Seba Cornez on the inside of Bradley Gunn. He slides up a little bit, almost makes contact there, but he backed out of it, and it looks like he just doesn't have that drive off the corner like some of these other guys have. Nick Breidenbach goes to the bottom looking for a spot, but Seba shuts the door.
Breidenbach was thinking about it, but it looks like Cornez might have that car set up for the long run, not the short haul, as there is some heavy competition going on behind him, and one of them is our good friend Josh Capernall driving the 42. Is he's in a slugfest right now with Wyatt Fink.
Yeah, a good battle between the 63 and 42. A lot of respect being given out of these guys right now, as they're given a lot of room, but not to the point where they're just not racing.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you like to see. You know, respect being given early, and then take the gloves off at the last couple of laps. As right now, Stafford and Samuelson going after each other. Samuelson's giving Stafford all he can handle right now. Both of them have gained a couple of positions, but your biggest mover so far is going to be Glenn Ballard back in the 7th, running 19th right now. He is up 4. So not a lot of movement, but we are seeing some movement as Capernall goes to the inside of Fink going through 3 and 4, but Fink able to get the drive off.
Yeah, Coppernole's one of those guys that kind of just rides in the back and tries not to go a lap down for the first 100 laps or so. But once he gets his car figured out and he gets some confidence in himself, he'll end up in the top 15, most definitely.
He absolutely will. Is I'm kind of keeping an eye on this
Ryan
battle for
Samuelson
17th.
looking to make a move, but there's a
Oh,
caution. Josh Copernole.
what? Coming through 1 and 2.
Oh, it looks like he just got a little loose and Alex Princeton didn't want to lift.
Yeah, it was definitely trying to hang on to her coming across that bump, and I don't know if he got finished off or not.
Oh, there was a little tap that got him loose, and then a second tap that sent him around for the second time.
Yeah, there it is. So yeah, coming across that bump, the car started to loosen up, and unfortunately, Capital got finished off, and it didn't hit anything. That's the good news.
Yeah,
So
he'll be fine.
it looks like he's going to be using the escape road through 3 and 4 just to make sure that he's not dripping anything on the track. And is he coming pit side? Yes, he is. So no takers at the front of the field.
And that's sort of expected as they have a limited set of tires and we're only 10 laps in.
And it looks like a lot of guys are taking damage repair already.
Yeah, they might have tagged the wall or something, but I think they're gonna.
Ballard, Princeton, Jones, all taking damage repair. Ken Ron, Matt Gaskin, and Bryson Alexander all taking fuel only. So a little bit of early race strategy going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but I don't really think it's gonna affect them too much because I still think it's gonna be a two-stop race from here. But we're about to go green, I believe, this time by maybe.
We are. Lights are out on the pace car. Murray, Root, White, Alonso, Story, Stafford, Samuelson, Ward, Gibson, and Spivey. Your top 10 as we get ready to turn them back loose. Everybody testing their tires out, coming down the backstretch right now. And something that I don't get to see a lot of, that is a sea of Chevys at the front of this piece. The first non-Chevy is going to be Austin Story's Toyota, and then the next non-Chevy is 10th place Randy Spivey in the Ford.
I actually believe it'll be J.C. Gibson in ninth. That's the next non-Chevy. But we're about to go back green flag. Alex Murray gets a massive jump on the field, and they are gone.
Here comes White looking to the inside of Root. Root just sends it around the outside. Now, the preferred lane around here is actually where you just saw Root going through 1 and 2. That second set of hash marks, you want to keep the left side tires, outside of that. That's really where you're going to be able to get the momentum coming up off the corner, is in that second groove.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can also work that yellow line almost. At least in the trucks. I ran some races this week.
Yeah, you don't want to try that in these cars.
And it really worked, but we'll have to see if some people try to test that as Ryan Samuelson going to the inside or at least looking for it on Austin Story. But he almost lost the spot to Josh Ward trying to do that.
Absolutely. That is an absolute log jam from about 5th or 6th on back. As the Toyota of Story leading Samuelson, Ward, and then the Toyota of J.C. Gibson and Randy Spivey all right there as well. That is some of the hardest battling going on right now, is for the last handful of spots in the top 10.
Oh yeah, for sure. Ryan Samuelson running lower than a lot of these guys, and not really able to get the run off that he wants. But we hope to see him get a little bit better as the run goes on, as that will save a little bit of the rear tire.
Well, you can see what Story's doing. He's doing a late apex through the corner, and that's kind of what you want to do. Is you want to get that car pointed as straight as possible, as soon as possible, to fire down the back straightaway and around down the front straightaway as well. And that's really what Story's doing. Samuelson's trying to arc the corner more than he really needs to. And, I mean, you can see it right now. Story's able to defend quite well and quite easily. As it looks like Raymond Root and Matt White starting to go after each other again.
Yeah, and it looks like RJ and Matt are just kind of minding their P's and Q's while still trying to race each other, but they don't want Alex Murray to get that second gap again like he did in the first run.
Well, they've kept him in check a lot better this time than they did in the opening salvo. But, I dare say we're about halfway through what should be a fuel run here. And, I mean, these guys never cease to amaze me with the amount of skill that I'm seeing week in and week out with, especially in the early going of these races. There's a lot of give and take, more give early on, but there's going to be a lot more taking as this race starts to wear on. As Story has reeled in Joe Stafford for fifth. As
Oh,
Stafford
Joe
sideways.
Stafford sideways. That'll let at least Austin Story through. Now Ryan Samuelson makes it three wide on the back stretch. And man, what a move by Ryan Samuelson. Now he's underneath Austin Story and nothing doing there as he has to back out of it.
Story was able to carry the momentum off, and Samuelson didn't want to end both their races this soon. So wisely backs out of it just a tick and lets Story have a little bit of breathing room. But right now, Stafford under heavy pressure from the ace of Josh Ward.
Yeah, Josh Ward always good at the little bit less than mile and a half tracks, but not necessarily short tracks. He won at Darlington this year and had a really good run at Gateway. Um, so he definitely knows how to get around these types of tracks.
Collins and Fink going after each other now through 1 and 2. And now it's 3 wide as they come down the back straightaway, as that is Collins working the inside as well.
Zendela Collins is definitely really having a fast car here tonight. Not necessarily the speed that he wants, but I think he can get up into the top 15, maybe battle for a top 10.
Very much so. I mean, just a lot of battling going on. And the thing these guys have to keep in mind, I'm not sure why Fink is running so high through the corners, as now here comes Princeton on Kendall Paul behind him. That was just a weird line that Fink's been taking through 1 and 2, almost like he's missing his braking zone.
Well, it's something that you've seen, not necessarily with him, but with his dad. His dad's always tried to go to places that you don't necessarily see that normally people run, but they somehow make it work for them and build their setup to it.
Yeah, but the VHT's down on the repave.
Well,
that's a very weird line. Is now Fink and Princeton door to door going through 3 and 4. Princeton going to look to the inside of Fink going through 1 and 2. Fink back down on the repave. Going to get a better drive off the corner. Hoping to try to reel Princeton in down the back straightaway. No doing. Leo Bonacasa throwing his hat into the mix as the 45 working the inside of the 59 of Spanner, or Spanner working the inside of Bonacasa, I should say.
Oh! Spanner got really tight and almost made contact with Leo. That'll open up the door for Nick Breidenbach to try to make a move to get there.
Absolutely. Is Brad Gunn in the mix as well?
Almost boy. More contact.
Good grief. A little bit squirrely coming off the corner for Sanner. That's going to open the door for Breidenbach in the 24 as they get to turn 1.
Well, this is pure chaos back in this midfield battle between
Absolutely
Nick
is.
Breidenbach, Leo Bonacasa, Chad Sanner, and you can throw in Bradley Gunn there. But Breidenbach just moved up into the 12th position as he's got around him. He has a lot of speed in his vehicle, but something that's I'd want to keep an eye out for is Bryson Alexander has the fastest 10 and 15 lap average.
He does at that. Meanwhile, back a little bit further, Tom McGee and Seba Cornez going after each other right now. It's Cornez on the top side, McGee on the low side, and they still have not given up that battle, as that's been door to door for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, these guys are some of the more aggressive drivers out on track, and looks like they're doing something to make it work.
As battle for third, hot and heavy between Matt White and Eugenio Alonso. White's around.
What in the world?
White just overcooked it going into 3, and around she went.
He goes high. Oh, he had to lift for Eugenio Alonso, and that spun him around. And Austin Story almost went down pit road to miss it.
He did at that, and something happened with Ward. Ward got it wrong coming through 4.
Well, we're about to go down pit road, and as they're doing that, we're gonna go to commercial.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make the right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. We're a fifth of the way through. Lap 30 out of 151, 150.5 miles. And it's been a great race so far. Alex Murray's led every lap, but our fourth place car, or third place at the time, spun around, and he's now all the way into the back. And well, not all the way. He's ninth.
Well, it's still a lot of headway that Matt White has to make up, as Alex Murray winning the battle off pit road. RJ Root coming out in second. Aurelio Alonso, Austin Story, Ryan Samuelson, Joe Stafford, Josh Ward, J.C. Gibson, Matt White, Randy Spivey rounding out your top 10, as the lights have gone out on the pace car as the field works its way down the back straightaway.
Oh yeah, for sure. As everybody goes down the back straight away. I just got to point out, Alonso, He's had a great run. He really showed up in the All-Star race, finishing or winning the All-Star Open and running second most of the race before being caught up in a wreck. But he kind of went silent after that, and he's back up in third here this week, battling for a win.
He absolutely is. As the field works its way into the Geico restart zone, green flag comes back out. Murray jumps on the loud pedal, and here comes Alonso to the inside of Root for second.
But don't look now. Austin Story's on the quarter panel of Eugenio Alonso, and he'll try to make a move there. Eugenio closes the door, and that puts Austin in fourth and not able to make a move.
Samuelson and Stafford going after each other like two kids in the back seat of a minivan on summer vacation. 0 quarter asked for, 0 quarter given, as Samuelson working the inside of Stafford down the front chute, still side by side as they haul it off into turn number 1.
Ryan Samuelson forces Joe Stafford up the track and into the dirty stuff. Joe, with his drifting experience, was able to hold on to the car and keep it on the outside, and you gotta think this is burning up Ryan Samuelson's tires.
That's exactly what it's doing, running that lower line. All you're doing is punishing that right front tire because you're not getting your own way, as now Stafford does have the clear. Samuelson now under pressure from the one of Josh Ward.
Something I heard was Josh Ward and Austin Story making a little bit of a wedge adjustment on that pit stop, and it seems like their cars have come to life.
They have at that is right in front of them. That is Story and Alonso going after each other. Alonso filling that rearview mirror. Story filling the rearview mirror of Alonso.
Not letting Alonso go anywhere as Austin gets a better run off. He just doesn't have that center speed like he wants to be able to get by Eugenio Alonso.
Joe Stafford had a big wiggle coming off of turn number 2. That's going to let Samuelson get back to his inside. Back to where we were at the restart. Still door to door as they come down the straightaway. Stafford has the advantage coming down the front chute. Samuelson, though, going to try to send it going into 1. Stafford slams the door.
Joe Stafford, like you said, he shut the door, but don't look now. Josh Ward trying to make a move on Ryan Samuelson. Will he put the bumper to him, maybe?
Not at this time. It's a little early to be doing crazy stuff like that. As Root did get a run the last lap, actually was faster than your leader, Alex Murray, did close in on him. But your biggest mover right now is back in 14th position. That is the number 7 of Glenn Ballard, as he's under heavy pressure from Brad Gunn.
We go back up to the front with Alex Murray and RJ Root less than 2 tenths between each other. And Alex Murray coming off a big win yesterday in the 100% Cup Series. Definitely has all the momentum on his side. But RJ Root, who had a fast car as well yesterday, is making some moves too.
All that battling going on for third behind them between Alonso and Story. That's letting your 2 leaders walk away, as they've got over a second to the good right now over that battle for third. And your next closest battle is going to be back with Stafford, Samuelson, Ward, and White.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And if I were to compare Eugenio Alonso to any NASCAR driver ever, it'd be Ryan Newman, because of just how hard he is to pass. But Austin Story, he got to the quarter panel of Eugenio Alonso, but had to check up because Eugenio shut the door.
Alonso shut the door on corner exit.
You gotta think Austin is getting really impatient behind Eugenio. He's just getting really frustrated.
And that's where you're going to see mistakes start to happen, as those 2 guys have not given an inch to each other since the green flag has come back out. Note from the pit area, Josh Capernall has decided to put it on the hauler.
And I actually believe he's not in there anymore. I saw him while we were in the commercial, but he was in the broadcast waiting room. I was going to pull him in, but I don't see him anymore.
Definitely not had a night he was hoping for. As, these battles in the front part of the field are just hot and heavy right now, as everything from 15th on back is really starting to get stretched out, as here comes White to the inside of Ward going into one.
Matt White working his way back through the field after his spin, already up to 7th, but I mean, he could be one of those guys you got to watch out for that's sneaky fast.
Dare say that he's probably driving angry right now, considering that he's got to be mad with himself for making that mistake, battling for third with Alonso. So White is definitely trying to get back up there to throw hands with his two teammates of Murray and Root.
Definitely.
Battle still hot and heavy for fifth between Stafford and Samuelson. Those guys have not given an inch to each other since the green flag has come out either. They do have a little bit of breathing room in front of them and behind them, but not for long because White is reeling them in.
Ryan Samuelson looking to the inside of Joe Stafford. Joe Stafford not going to be making it easy on him, as Ryan Samuelson, team owner of FFR, let's just say Propel and FFR are a little bit of a rival
Fair enough.
each other.
As Stafford pinching down on Samuelson.
Samuelson might have tagged the wall out of 4.
Maybe. But that is definitely, those two guys battling like that has really let Matt White reel them in. And now it is a 3-car battle for 5th.
Like you said, it's a 3-car battle for 5th. And Ryan Samuelson goes way wide to let Matt White through. So move him up to 6th as he is marching through the field.
He is at that. I'm thinking Samuelson taking the strategy move there, thinking White can get by Stafford a little bit easier than he can, and he's just going to fill the gap and follow him through once White does get back to Stafford.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And we're going to go back up to the battle between the 86 of Alonso and Austin Story, but Austin definitely looks like he has the faster car. Alonso just seems like he's a roadblock right now for him.
He is, and the fact that Alonso is holding up Story, that's let Alex Murray and RJ Root get out to over a 2-second gap back to that battle for third. And it looks like Murray's starting to pull a gap on Root.
Yeah, it looks like he just has a little bit better of a long-run vehicle than RJ Root. And, well, when you're better on the short run and the long run, usually that means you're going to win. So we'll just have to see. But Eugenio Alonso goes a little bit wide. Austin Story almost got underneath him, but just lost the drive off. And we go back to the battle between Matt White and Joe Stafford. Matt White all over the back bumper of Joe.
White definitely wants to get back up there as quickly as he can. Kendall Paul had a moment a couple of laps ago as he took an excursion through the grass off of turn 2. Didn't hit anything, didn't go around, just did some lawn trimming and a little yardscaping.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, here we go.
And Joe Stafford just moves to the bottom. I thought he was going to let Matt White by, but he'll keep that position.
As White trying a different run through 3 and 4.
Chaos in the back. Chad Sander, 3 wide with Randy Spivey, and I believe that was Zendla Collins. No, that was Glenn Ballard. Same team.
That was Glenn Ballard, as That is a log jam from about 12th on back.
It sure
They've gotten that
was, and
sorted
I
out a
believe
little
it.
bit, but Ballard continuing to backslide right now.
Joe Stafford got passed by both Matt White and um Ryan Samuelson. So
And it's
let's see what happens.
exactly what we were thinking was going to happen is Samuelson followed White right around Stafford,
Oh,
and Stafford's a sitting duck right now.
oh, I see what happened. Matt White, he had the run, but he wasn't quite clear. It forced Joe to lift, and he got little bit loose when he did lift, and he got in the wall.
And that would
But
explain why J.C. Gibson is reeling in Stafford now
the former
as
teammates.
Sander and Bonacasa make contact
Oh,
going into
Lord,
one.
goes around! Well, that happened.
Looks like Ward having problems in 1 and 2. Went just a little too low. Came across that bump for the tunnel, and it just unsettled the back of the car. And around goes the 1, and we are back under caution. Caution number 3 of the night.
Well, Josh Ward just went on the radio and said, sorry to everybody. It was just a lack of talent. So it looks like he just got a little bit loose and couldn't really do anything about it.
So, Joseph, let me ask you this big question, because I know since the latest tire model has come out for these cars, a 2-tire stop is actually feasible now rather than making the car completely undrivable.
Well,
Do you think anybody would take a 2-tire stop this early?
if they're running from like anywhere like say 7th on back, they could potentially try it to gain some track position and then see what it's like for late in the race if they really want to do it.
Fair
But
enough.
Alex Murray takes 4 tires. It looks like everybody's taking 4 tires.
That's the safe bet this early.
Oh, did Austin Story or Eugenio Alonso get out first there? That was or in front of each other there. It was
Well,
close.
we'll find out when they get to the backstretch. Looks like Alonso got it.
I want to go back and look at that. If I could find it. We look at it in slow motion. Eugenio Alonso barely beat him out in time, but man, that was close.
Absolutely. As do want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up because it really helps share these races with the YouTube algorithm. The more thumbs up a video gets, the more likely it is to be shared on somebody's Facebook feed, their YouTube feed. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook as well. We do have a ton of racing coming up later this week as the cleanracing.net round 3 from New Hampshire. So I will be back here tomorrow with Frank Marchese in the booth for round number 3 of the cleanracing.net truck series. And then Tuesday, we start and end at Charlotte with the quadruple header, starting at 11:50 Eastern Time. That's AM, with the Night Shift Racing League season finale from Charlotte. Then at 8:20 with the AARL Trucker Street America Cup Series will be their season opener at Daytona, as well as the Rickmatech Truck Series or Rickmatech Cup Series this year, as they go to their season opener at Daytona. That's 8:20 and 8:40 Eastern Time, respectively. And then the nightcap on Tuesday night will be the Western States Racing League round number 3 from Charlotte for season number 47. Can you believe that, Joseph?
No, that's incredible that a league has gone on for 47 seasons.
That league has been around longer than you've been on this earth.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As the lights are out on the iRacing pace car, we get ready to turn them back loose. Murray going to have the button one more time. Let's see what type of restart Root can get from that outside lane as the pace car peels on off. Field works its way into the Geico restart zone. Murray jumps on the loud pedal and we are back underway.
That top has not gotten going any time this whole race. But Eugenio Alonso just shut the door on Austin Story, and that'll allow Matt White to the bottom of Austin Story. And Austin has to be furious about that contact there and the little respect given. Eugenio just shut the door.
Yeah, Alonso was not playing nicely as they got to turn number 1. Went up into Story, and Story had to kind of bail out. White, though, wisely backed out of it, not knowing what the 23 was going to do once they got to turn number 3, and did not want to be a victim of circumstance.
Well, it's lap 58 of 151, so we're a third of the way through. So it's not yet time to put the bumper to them, but if you're still behind them in another 20 laps, get out of the way, Mr.
No, Alonso's going to get punted.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be shades of Hamlin and Kenseth at Martinsville. As Brad Gunn in the 36 works the inside of the 19 of Alex Princeton, and that is a 4-wide situation coming through 3.
Man, how did they stick that? As they go through the front straightaway, they are still 3 wide. Josh Ward able to make the move, and he's clear there. But Alex Brinson making the move on Tom McGee now.
Good grief. McGee not having a good time of it right now as Princeton and McGee still go door to door. Not a lot of room between those cars. And then it's a log jam behind him as Sander had a moment coming off of turn. Oh, he lost it going into the turn. And the 59 of Sander just went through the grass going into turn 1 and just hemorrhaged spots.
Yeah, I mean, there's little room for mistakes here at this track. That's for sure.
I mean, this track has got a lot of history to it. For those of you who have been longtime fans, know that this is one of the reasons why there is a tow hook on the throttle pedals of these cars now. After we lost Kenny Irwin and Adam Petty in consecutive years, they really started looking more into safety. This is one of the first tracks to get the safer barriers.
Oh yeah, for sure. And they even put restrictor plates on at this track, if you believe it. Oh,
I
bumper to the back of the 86.
Not surprising there, as I think we're going to see a lot more of that coming from the 23 of Story, as he is not a happy camper with Alonso right now.
Oh, another contact there between the 86 and 23. This is just getting started. Get your popcorn out.
Place your bets, folks.
And he gets to the outside quarter panel. He cuts it down, gives him the bumper once more. Man, Austin has the faster car. It's just this track's single lane, and you almost gotta put the bumper to him.
Pretty much. His Story has been behind that 86 for a lot of this race. And right now, Matt White is stalking both of them. But you got to think, White's got to be considering in the back of his mind.
Oh, sideways goes Seba Cornez down the backstretch.
Cornez was all sorts of sideways, gets it collected back up. Not going to lose a ton of spots as that's the 36, a gun going around the outside as Cornez battles back down the front straightaway. Still door to door is Raymond Root. Ooh.
Did RJ have the lead when the caution came out?
I think he did.
Let's see. RJ Root, how did he do it? He sends it up the inside, full throttle almost, side by side. Caution comes out. RJ had the lead.
And the caution came out because of Joe Stafford almost tagging the tire or the water barrels at the end of pit road.
Let's go back and watch this. Oh, he just tried pulling a slide job and there was little to no grip there.
Unfortunately, that was that low lane that you were talking about earlier that you like. Unfortunately, there's no rubber laid down on that low lane. And Alex Murray piping up in the in-sim chatter saying he wants to protest RJ now as Root had the bumper out in front when the caution did fly.
Alex Murray not happy as he puts the bumper to RJ down the straightaway.
And Joseph, check your sound levels. You say we step away, pay a couple quick bills, you check your sound levels, and we'll be right back.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. And man, what a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. Is those two Camaros up at the front who've been up there all night, just going after each other. You wouldn't know that they were teammates unless you knew the behind-the-scenes deal. But this could play into, as we are back underway, I was going to say this could play into the hands of Story.
Nope, Eugenio sent it.
Good grief.
Man.
Here comes White to the inside of Story now. Hang on to her.
You gotta think, one of these times, Austin Story has to punt him so hard that it just moves him out of the way.
Well, if Story doesn't do it, I bet you White will.
White not giving any room to Story either.
White's going to have to try a crossover. He's going to have to try a drastic move coming off of two. But the only thing is, White is right there. As White almost got into Alonso coming through the middle of two. And that's holding up White right now. And you know that he wants to get up into that mix with Root and Murray, as those two guys are going after each other again.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you gotta think Alex Murray has to send it into the corner, because that's the only way you can make a pass. As
Root Root's going to battle back on the top side. A lot of momentum for the 8 coming off the corner. Drag race down the back straightaway. The advantage still goes to the 8 of Root.
And this is the first time we've seen a real battle for the lead and Alex Murray be in traffic. Does his car not handle as well in traffic maybe? But they're
That's what
still
it's looking
side
like.
by side, and man, you gotta think this is helping those guys in third and fourth try to make up positions.
It absolutely is. You can throw a blanket over your top 6 right now. And Root finally gives way to Murray coming down the back straightaway. Root going to slot back in line. He did get that bonus point for leading the lap. Murray starting to walk him now, as you got to wonder how much tire did Root use up trying to get by Murray in the first place.
And how much tire did Murray use up?
Well, he's starting to pull a gap on Root right now, as Root starting to gap Alonso again. But that battle from third on back is still hot and heavy, as the 23 of Story and the 56 of White right there, as White almost gets into Story coming through 3 and 4.
Well, Eugenio right now, as he was earlier, is just holding these two guys up, and you got to think it has to be a restart that they're going to try and make a move to get around them. Because personally, I think Matt White and Austin Story can battle with RJ and Alex if they can get around Eugenio.
Have to, and they're going to have to do it quickly, because those two up in front are starting to pull a gap on the rest of the field, as your next closest battle is going to be back there around the 1 of Josh Ward, currently running in 10th, as he's got Breidenbach behind him and Ballard in front of him. And just as I say that, Gibson works the inside of Gunn, and Gibson going to be able to get up into 12th, Gunn back to 13th.
Yeah, Gibson had a bad restart, but right now, Austin Story under attack from Matt White.
Story goes up into the loose stuff on the top lane. White going to get the run down the back straightaway. White with the nose out in front for 4th. They're still side by side. White gets out of the power a little bit sooner. Story going to slot back into 5th. White up to 4th. Now White has to try to reel Alonso back in.
Austin, just as he was getting past, went over the radio and said his car won't turn and he can't back up the corner because, well, he
caved his splitter in
from Matt White.
Well, he caved his splitter in when he was giving the chrome horn to Alonso, as here comes White now to the inside of Alonso for 3rd. Still side by side coming off of turn number 4, drag race down the front straightaway. Alonso and White almost making contact on the exit of 4. And White going to send it going into 1. White now back up into 3rd, as those 3 Chevys now leading the way again for the team. And Alonso back into the clutches of Story, as Samuelson's right there as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Austin just saw how easy Eugenio made it on Matt White. And he's probably thinking, well, get out of the way from me now, because you've held me up for the whole race. But you just let Matt White go with ease.
Well, I don't think he's going to have much of a choice, considering that he's got Samuelson on his back bumper, and Samuelson's not one to wait around and lollygag.
He's sure not. And Austin puts the bumper to him. It gets him sideways. But really, all that bumping to Eugenio is doing is holding up Austin himself. He has to check up every time.
It's caving in that front end of that Camry, and that's the last thing you want to do at a track where you need turn in. And something just happened with Kendall Paul.
Not seeing what happened on SDK.
Lost it coming through 4. How is that not a caution? Okay.
Well, as we've seen all race, Eugenio Alonso holding up Austin Story. Austin finally gets a good run off of 4. He's been bread and butter through 2. So let's see what happens into 1. Oh,
Little bit.
Eugenio slid up. That opens up the door for Austin Story. Austin just can't get the drive off out of 2, but this is the closest he's been into 3. Let's see if he puts the bumper to him finally.
He's going to have to turn him around to get by him.
Oh, there's the bumper.
That was a brake check out of the 86. That wasn't Story being aggressive. That was Alonso trying to check Story up. And I'll tell you right now, Austin Story is not a guy you want to make mad.
He's sure not.
Have you seen him? 6'2", 285. I wouldn't want him mad at me. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I guess.
Right back in Gibson going door to door for 11th right now. And there we go.
Eugenio just doesn't have that drive through the corner anymore, and Austin just doesn't want to put the bumper to him. Or he doesn't want to put him enough bumper to him.
Well, he's going to have to do something quick, and...
Oh!
He gets into the lap car!
Wow! Matthew Gaskins, Lauren Jones just ticked Austin Story off, if anything has. Let's go back and rewatch.
Samuelson wasn't able to avoid it either, and he got into the back of Story.
So it looked...
Alonso used the lap car as a pick. Story gets into the lap car, and then Samuelson gets into the back of Story. So now Story's got damage at both ends, and Alonso's nose is caved in. The question is, how much damage is done to the radiator of the 81 and the 23?
Well, all I gotta say is,
Do tell.
If Austin Story or Ryan Samuelson sees that lap car of Lauren Jones again, we might get a caution. So, watch out for that.
That's a possibility. As Breidenbach and Ballard still going after each other. Back in 11th, they've been door to door for the last handful of laps, and they're going to have to get it sorted out pretty quick because Josh Ward wants around both of them.
Well, you just saw from the far chase and the rear chase the damage that Ryan Samuelson and Austin Story has on their vehicles, and that could be terminal.
Yeah, that's definitely some heavy damage on the front, especially on the 81. The ducting has to have gotten into the radiator on the 81, and I believe we do have a GoPro on Ryan Samuelson's helmet. And unfortunately, with the digital dash, we can't see the water temperature. Awesome.
We do not have that ability. But something you gotta keep your eye out for is the guy who spun onto pit road, Joe Stafford. He's already up to 7th and running some of the best lap times on track. He ran a 31.1 that time. Guess who ran what our leader Alex Murray ran? A 31.4. He might be on tires. I think
Stafford's definitely
tires.
got the... It is. Stafford's got about 12 lap newer tires, actually 15 lap newer tires than do the cars in front of him, and he's using that advantage right now as he just picked off Samuelson like Samuelson was stopped.
Yeah, and if we go green and for another 20 laps or so, he gets that caution, and then everybody's racked up. He still hasn't pitted, and these guys still have to pit, and they're all on even tires, and he has the lead.
The thing that really surprises me is of the guys that came down under the last caution, Stafford's the only one that's really made any headway. Chad Sanders, the next one, and he's mired back in 14th.
Yeah, so, like, it's definitely part driver, part tire, but Joe definitely has the vehicle under him as he's using the same setup as Austin Story.
Stafford now starts to reel in Story, and you got to wonder, you know, Story was complaining earlier that he wasn't able to get that car to start to rotate with the front end damage that he already had. Now it's really caved in. I mean, that Camry's looking like a pug dog.
Yeah.
As Stafford all over his back bumper right now. Stafford with the tire advantage as we are working lap 94 of 151 here. Stafford's looking to the inside, and it doesn't look like Story's going to put up much of a fight. Gives him plenty of room going into one, just like that. Stafford up into the top 5.
Well, that's something Austin definitely showed that Eugenio didn't. A little bit willingness to give and not take this early in the race. But let's go on board with Joe Stafford now. Let's see if he's grabbing a gear into third. Well, I thought you might see him grab a gear into third, but nothing doing there.
No, didn't need to, but I mean, he's really starting to close in on the 86 of Alonso, as Alonso's really struggling right now. As to recap what we're seeing, Alex Murray with about a 12 car length gap over Raymond Root, about 1 3/4 seconds. Root's got a 2.5 second gap over Matt White, as White goes around the lap car again. That is the 11 of Jones. And White is two seconds to the good over the 86 of Alonso, who's another second to the good over Joe Stafford in 5th. And that gap is coming down quickly.
I mean, Joe Stafford's closing in on everybody right now, so somebody's pitting in right now. I believe it might be Lauren Jones. Yep, he's pitting. So the damage that he got from Austin Story, where he just parked it out, where Lauren just parked it out of the corner, seems to be terminal for him at least.
Very much so, as the field getting pretty strung out right now. Joseph, I think now would be a good time for us to take our final break of the night, and we'll come back if anything happens.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen 1 Lawn Care. Preen 1 does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen 1 delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen 1, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. And I'm sorry, I finally figured out what happened with the engine noises. But let's go ahead and look at what happened to Ryan Samuelson here as the caution came out.
And then we're going to take a look at what happened to Seba Cornez as he just ate complete hot garbage coming through 1 and 2.
So Ryan Samuelson got loose and then spun it. Got some pretty big damage on that rear of the car. Now we go and look at Seba Cornez. Same line, same lap, and maybe a little bit of oil down on the track as he just went around near the same area.
He was trying to take evasive action, and it looks like he caught that bump wrong and was just trying to get on the binders a little too hard. But wholesale pit stops going on. Looks like everybody 4 in fuel.
Yeah, but know who that benefits? Joe Stafford. He had moved himself up into the 5th position, and
he's now on the same strategy as everybody else around him.
Oh yeah, for sure, and everybody will be able to make it to the end here as well, so it's full push, you might say.
Very much is White going to restart in 3rd with Murray en route. Alonso is going to be under heavy pressure from Stafford. And, I mean, you know as well as I do, Joe Stafford is another one you don't want to make angry with you. And if Alonso does to Stafford what he did to the 23 earlier, Stafford's probably going to punt him.
Oh yeah, for sure. As when Joe Stafford, he's a calm person. He doesn't like getting mad at people. But when he gets mad, he will run through you and put you in the wall.
I will break bones in my own body to put you into the wall.
Yeah.
Think I care about the race car? I got 2 more in the shop. You know,
Yeah.
that's the kind of attitude that they're going to need to have to get around Alonso. Alonso's had a little bit of pace on fresh tires, but after about 10 or so laps, he starts to hold up anybody that's behind him. And you got Spivey up there as well. Spivey's on a great charge right now, as is JC Gibson. Your biggest mover, though, is Alex Princeton in the 19. Him, Gladden Ballard, and Matt Gaskins are all up 9. That's impressive.
That's pretty crazy.
As the lights are out on the iRacing pace car, Murray going to have the button one more time. As the field works its way through the 3-4 complex, there goes the pace car. Or not.
There it goes.
There goes the pace car. As the field works its way into the Geico restart zone, Murray drops the hammer, and we are back underway as White now giving pressure to Root going into 1.
And looky there, Joe Stafford is able to get underneath Eugenio Alonso, force him up the track. He's still side by side, but that's the closest anybody's been to getting by him on a restart.
Well, Stafford going to send it going into 3 as Root and White are still door-to-door through 3 and 4.
Gino gets up in the dark stuff, and that'll give the position to Joe.
White and Root door-to-door, almost contact going into 1. White with a slight advantage into 1. Root going to get the run off of 2, though, as White pinches him up and throws the slide job coming off of 2. White up into 2nd. Now tries to reel in Murray, who's your leader. 2 more laps, and Murray has clinched most laps led as White now works his back bumper coming off of 4. Root. Murray, White, and Root start to pull a gap on Stafford right now. As Alonso falling under the pressure of J.C. Gibson. Gibson giving a lot of pressure to the 86 right now. As Murray starts to pull a little bit, Root starts to fade a little bit off of White, as White is giving Murray all he can handle.
Matt White has showed to me that his car is really good, and it can do anything it wants, and it's the best car on track from what I've seen.
Last time by, Murray went a 30.24, White with a 30.17, I should say. So a little bit more speed out of the 56 than out of the 40 right now. But Joseph, you know as well as I do, you've been in this sim long enough to know that catching someone is one thing, passing them cleanly is a completely different ballgame.
Who said it had to be clean, though?
You know, normally when you're on the same racing team, you have team orders of try not to kill each other. Rule number 2 is if you are going to kill each other, make damn sure it's a Sports Center highlight for the rest of the year.
Well, there you go.
Battle for 5th, hot and heavy right now as Ward and Gibson go, or 6th, as Ward and Gibson going after each other. Spivey right there as well. 27 caught out on the top side. Not really where he wants to be. Able to get the power down, though. He's going to defend quite well against Spivey. Spivey working the inside right now as Ward starts to pull a gap on both of them. Spivey has gotten by Gibson. Gibson's going to slot back in as now he's got to deal with Nicholas Breidenbach behind him. And the rest of the field pretty strung out right now, as that is one of your closest battles on track, as here comes Princeton right now trying to put some pressure on Chad Sanner. Sanner has had all sorts of problems here tonight, not in a good way. Princeton, Ballard, Princeton, Ballard, and Gaskin, all your tied for your biggest mover, all of them plus 10 right now, sitting 12th, 13th, and 14th.
Yeah, for sure. And if you look a little bit farther back from that, both Samuelson and Story fixed their damage on that caution, working their way back through the field. Samuelson in 14th, Story in 16th.
They are at that. Meanwhile, at the front of this piece, Murray has a little bit of breathing room over Matt White, a little bit of breathing room over RJ Root, as Stafford just clocking laps right now, not really trying to push the issue yet. Looks like Stafford might be trying to save a little bit of tire in the early going of this final tire run.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is really the first time you've seen somebody from that Money House Racing Propel Alliance in the top 10 or in the top 4, and it looks like they have some of the fastest vehicles on track.
I mean, you take a look at your top 6 right now. 30.5, 30.5, 30.5, 30.5, 30.5, 30.5.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about anything that is as close to a fixed set as possible, those lap times are that.
There you go, and then you drop back to Josh Ward, who's currently sitting in 6th. 30.8 last time by for him.
Something I'm keeping my eye on is Joe Stafford. He's only 9/10ths back, which he was just a couple laps ago, 1.1 back.
He is at that over from the lead. But your top 4, you can pretty much throw a blanket over him right now, as they are starting to pull a gap on Gino Alonso, as Alonso's starting to fade, but he does have some breathing room from Josh Ward, as Ward is 2 seconds back and fading. Alex Murray, Matt White, Raymond Root, Joe Stafford, and Gino Alonso, your top 5 right now. Then you've got the 2.5 second gap back to Josh Ward, Randy Spivey, Nicholas Breidenbach, J.C. Gibson, and Leo Bonacasa rounding out your top 10 as they currently sit. Battle starting to get hot and heavy between Ballard and Samuelson for 13th, though. And here comes Samuelson to the inside of Ballard.
Side by side. Austin Story also lurking in the background there. Ballard lets him go. Well, I was going to say he was going to let him go, but that's just not Ballard's style, it seems.
Absolutely not. That prodigy driver trying to make up some ground.
In the wall. Austin Story goes to the outside of FFR's own Glenn Ballard, and he's on the outside of him, and Ballard's not making it easy for him, though.
Ballard is absolutely not making it easy for Story. That is your closest battle.
Does anybody take it easy on Austin Story tonight?
Apparently not. Just look how damaged that car is. Story does give him room coming off a 2. That's going to let Story get the run down the back straightaway. Story up into 14th after having to get some damage fixed. Still has a lot of racing left to do if he wants to try to get back up onto a podium position, as battle for 7th hot and heavy as Breitenbach works the inside of Spivey through 1 and 2.
Spivey on the inside of Lear, J.C. Gibson, almost chaos back there a little bit farther.
Gibson had to take evasive action to stay off of Spivey, but throw a blanket over 7th through 9th right now, as they've got a 3/4 second gap back to 10th place. Leo Bonacasa, as he now has his hands.
Caution's
and
out.
we've got trouble again.
Ryan Samuelson.
Oh no.
Oh no, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at
Lauren
the last
Jones.
caution. Man.
Or not.
No.
Bryson Alexander.
Bryson Alexander. Yep.
So the Duracell 20.
Oh, you saw a little pop at the beginning. And if there was such a thing as a blown tire in iRacing, that was it.
That's exactly what happened. The right rear tire just letting loose on that car.
Well, do you take 2 or 4 here, good old buddy?
I'm taking 4.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen just off of what Joe Stafford was able to do on 4 tires. I'm taking 4, and everybody's coming down pit road right now, so we're about to find out how much of an idiot I truly am.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. As they're all going down pit road.
I do want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chats right now. Thank you so much for making us a part of your evening. Don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media and the Esports Broadcasting Network. As we've got a whole slew of races coming up just in the next couple of days.
Oh, Matt White just spun it out of pit road!
Good grief.
What just happened?
That's what you call stepping on one's own junk.
Well, let's go back and look at the replay of this. That was interesting.
That's one way to put it.
Trying to get all of it he can out of it. He still came out second, but man.
Yeah, Root definitely not having a good time of it trying to get off pit road.
That Ooh, what happened to Root? Speeding. Speeding for Root. That'll move Joe Stafford into the 3rd position. And if he can just get a good restart, enough to get to the bumper of Alex Murray with 25 laps to go, it's get out of the way, move it. I'm taking the bumper.
Understandable. Absolutely understandable. I mean, we're getting down to crunch time here. We should get a restart with about 25 to go. So Alex Murray, Matt White, Joe Stafford, Josh Ward, Nicholas Breidenbach, J.C. Gibson, Randy Spivey, Leo Bonacasa, Alex Prince, and Austin Story, your top 10 as they currently sit. So it is going to be a fun one. But getting back to the point I was trying to make, we do have a ton of racing coming up later this week on our YouTube channel on the Esports Broadcasting Network. Monday night will be the Clean Racing .net Truck Series, round number 3, right back here at New Hampshire. And then a quadruple header on Tuesday. Night Shift Racing League will start the day off at 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time as they go to their season finale at Charlotte. ARL Truckers Street America Cup Series will be back at the season opener at Daytona. That's an 8:20 Eastern Time start there. The debut of the Rickman Tech Cup Series season opener from Daytona. That'll be an 8:40 p.m. Eastern Time start. And then the nightcap will be the Western States Racing League round number 3 at Charlotte for season number 47. As the lights are out on the pace car, Murray going to have the button one more time for what we hope will be the final restart of the event. White going to start to his outside, got Joe Stafford right behind him as the field works its way out of the turn 4 complex. Pace car is in. Murray has the button. Field into the Geico restart zone. Murray jumps on the loud pedals, so does Stafford. White caught sleeping on the top side. Stafford up in the second.
That was the best restart we've seen out of anybody from 3rd on back. Matt White just puts the bumper to Joe Stafford for no reason at all. And, man.
Josh Ward getting a decent getaway as well as he is up into 4th. About a car length and a half to the good over Nicholas Breidenbach, who rises in 5th right now. And then we've got a log jam behind them.
25 laps to go. Matt White sends it on the inside. Josh Ward all over his bumper. Josh Ward trying to make something work. Almost contact between Joe Stafford and Matt White. Matt White sends it in one more time.
Contact through 3 and 4.
Contact again. Man.
And they're not done yet. White's into the wall.
Ignored Joe Stafford for no reason at all. That was a dirty move.
Well, they were leaning on each other. But what brought out the caution was the 86 of Alonso. 3 wide in front of him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. He just loses it. Round she goes.
Oh, and Chad Sanner got collected.
Ouch. Danner and Paul. Oy. That was a wild one. Remember what I was saying about the log jam? That's exactly what we just saw. Danner came up the track, and unfortunately, Kendall Paul absolutely nowhere to go. Has to jump on the binders. And a guy coming out on the losing end of that whole exchange, looks like it's the 33.
Well, I know the caution wasn't for this, but let's go back and look at the replay of the Joe Stafford Matt White contact.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that, because that was definitely dirty pool. Stafford and White were side by side coming through 3 and 4, and they were leaning on each other.
then Matt White just kept turning into him, it looked like.
No, it looks like White came down into Stafford came down into White to try to get himself off the wall, and unfortunately Stafford was able to. Ooh. Yeah, Stafford pancaked the left side of that 56. Stafford pancaked the right side of the 57, so. Aren't they teammates?
Who?
Stafford and White?
No.
Oh.
They're rival teams.
Ah, that would explain why they were leaning on each other so hard.
Yeah.
So, we're going to rack them, stack them, and fire it again. Alex Murray still in command of this one. Matt White, Joe Stafford, Josh Ward, Nicholas Breidenbach, J.C. Gibson, Randy Spivey, Leo Bonacasa, Austin Story, and Alex Princeton rounding out your top 10 right now. Biggest mover is Bryson Alexander sitting back in 13th. He is plus 14 from where he started this piece.
Yeah, I mean, they've been able to battle through all the cautions and make some moves. And I just heard over the radio, it might be time for Joe Stafford to put the bumper to Matt White. Just a little birdie that I got in my ear.
You know, there's a possibility there. So, race control, he's giving an EOL penalty to Gino Alonso, as last time he was down pit road, he used too many pit stalls.
Coming to the green with 20 to go. Lights out and away we go here at New Hampshire for 20 more laps of chaos. Joe Stafford gets an immaculate restart, and he's able and range to put the bumper to Alex Murray. This is the closest we've seen anybody get a good restart on that bottom line. Caution it out.
Caution. Like Gaskins, Samuelson, and Ron.
Let's look back and see what happened. Gaskins gets moved out of the way by RJ. Ryan gets a little loose and can't hold it on the bottom, and that's chaos behind the big one at New Hampshire.
Hey.
Oh!
That started with the 81.
Yeah.
That definitely was the 81. Just dove it in there, and next thing you know, it's like playing the game of marbles.
Yeah. Well, since we've gotten another caution, we're going to go ahead and go to commercial break, and we'll be right back.
There's a new approach to lawn care. Preen 1 Lawn.
You know that guy? The one who, just minutes before the green flag, keys up his mic and asks, "Anybody got a setup?" Well, this is him. This is Adam. And Adam needs some help. This, on the other hand, is Steve. Steve is a solid racer, and he knows his way around the garage. Steve's problem is time. With a job and a family, he can't find enough time to build competitive setups and to race as often as he likes. But Steve knows a secret. Steve lets our crew chiefs do the setup work so he can focus on the racing. At majorsgarage.com, Steve can get setups for over 50 cars on the iRacing service, so no matter what series he wants to jump into, he is covered. Somebody really should tell Adam.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Napa know-how.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen 1 Lawn Care. Preen 1 does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen 1 delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen 1, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. We are back. Joe Stafford in second, Alex Murray in the lead, Matt White third, fourth is Josh Ward, and fifth on that inside line is Nicholas Breidenbach with a good run that he's been needing here recently.
Absolutely, plus 10 for Breidenbach, currently sitting in sixth. As the lights are out on the pace car, Murray going to have the button one more time as the field works its way through the 3-4 complex. Murray going to need to get the same restart that he got last time. White hoping to do what Stafford was able to do on the last restart as the pace car peels on off. Field goes into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out. Murray jumps on the loud pedal, and we are back underway. And White not getting as good of a restart as Stafford was able to do last time as they go door-to-door for second.
Door-to-door, yes they are. And Joe Stafford and Matt White trying to make it work.
Oh, contact
and Matt
again.
White just wrecked himself off Joe Stafford's nose.
Oh, good grief.
When is he going to stop the calamity and just realize that he needs to cool off?
Oh, hi, bud. Good grief. Completely ripping the right front suspension off of that 56. He turned himself. You know, I know he was trying to pinch Stafford up to get Stafford to jump on the binders, but this late in the race, Stafford doesn't know where the brake pedal is.
And, man, we keep going back and watching this, but no room given by either, that's for sure.
And that's, you know, situations when you let your emotions get the better of you. Stafford going to the pits, trying to get some damage repaired to hopefully limp that car home. That's going to open up the podium now for Josh Ward and J.C. Gibson. Nicholas Breidenbach right there as well within striking distance. And never count out Leo Bonacasa.
Yeah, I mean, the Money House Racing Propel Alliance is set, let's see, 4 of the top 7, so they got numbers up front now.
They do, but I don't think we're done seeing fireworks. As don't look now, but look who's back in the top 10. I see that, RJ Root, but I also see that that 23 of Austin Story back up there as well. So Murray, Ward, Gibson, Breidenbach, Bonacasa, Spivey, Story, Princeton, Root, and Fink, your top 10 as they currently sit. Your biggest mover is just outside the top 10. That's Bryson Alexander in the 20. He is plus 16 from where he started. Alex Princeton running in 8th is up 14 from where he started. And Nicholas Breidenbach has had an amazing run all night, plus 12, currently sitting in 4th. I mean, wouldn't that be something if Breidenbach could figure out a way to put that thing on the podium after starting that deep in the field? That's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
The lights should be going out on the iRacing pace car next time by. Murray going to have the button. Let's see what type of restarts Gibson and Ward can get. As we know, Breidenbach can be a little bit aggressive on restarts.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nick can be aggressive at points, but he's more of a calm driver. I'd look for Alex Murray with a new formed alliance with JC Gibson. Maybe a little bit of team orders to get him his first win of the year.
Possibility. But Gibson is starting a little bit further back than he probably wants to right now. But we're going to find out. Gibson could do exactly what we've seen, a couple drivers do tonight and get that good restart from third. If you're not restarting from the control position, I'd want to be restarting right behind the guy that does have control. And we're about to find out as the lights are out on the pace car field, working its way through the 3-4 complex. Murray going to have the trigger one more time. Pace car is in. Murray brings him into the restart zone. Green flag in the air. Murray jumps on the loud pedal. Gibson goes with him, working the inside of Ward. Ward hung out to dry on the top lane going into one.
JC Gibson sends it into the corner, trying to get any grip he can. Just nothing doing there as Josh Ward has that momentum on the outside. Austin Story ducks to the top, trying to get around his teammate of Leo Bonacasa now. Now they're going side by side through the front, and Austin Story is all over the bumper. Leo Bonacasa is up to fourth and clear. JC Gibson sends it into the corner, nowhere to go, slides up into Josh Ward. They make a little bit of contact, and it looks like Daytona and Talladega back here behind JC Gibson.
Absolutely is Gibson having a little bit of the blinkies coming through 3 and 4. Ward gives him plenty of room. Now he's going to throw the slides out coming off of 4. Pinches up into the 1. Ward battles back on the top side. Battle for second right now. Hot and heavy, but all of that has let Alex Murray jump out to a 2.5 to the good over this battle for second. And we are back under caution. Bryson Alexander getting it.
Oh, and Leo's going around. There's 2 incidents we gotta go look back at. Let's go look at the Bryson Alexander one.
That actually brought the caution out.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Samuelson has been a pinball everywhere.
Oy.
Now let's go and look at the Leo incident. Oh, he got on the wall and just spun it around after the caution came out. Almost made contact with to make that car out.
He just banged the wall coming off a 2.
Yeah.
And RJ Root finished him off. Brad Gunn catching a piece of that one as well. Oy vey. So Alex Murray, JC Gibson, Josh Ward, Nicholas Breidenbach, and RJ Root, your top 5 as they currently sit. Austin Story, Randy Spivey, Alex Princeton, Glenn Ballard, and Wyatt Fink rounding out your top 10. And still not a lot of takers going down pit side this time. Joseph, what a race we have seen so far here tonight. I mean, it's just been an absolute slugfest from second on back all night long.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a race for second, that's for sure. But right now, I think anything could happen. This is the farthest stuff we've seen J.C. Gibson. Does he have some short run speed we may not know about?
Well, he was able to get by Ward to get second place. The question is, how much more speed does he have left in that Camry? And the bad news is he's going to be restarting right next to Alex Murray, and he's not going to be able to see Murray when Murray goes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Nicholas Breidenbach is up there. RJ Root is back into the top 5. Austin Story knocking back on the door of the top 5. You know, Root and Story, we've seen speed out of both of those tonight. You know, and Breidenbach currently sitting in 4th, plus 12. You know, he's still got a shot at this one, as looks like lights go out on the pace car. And we are going to restart with 4 to go. 3 to go.
Well, here we go, coming through 1 and 2. Alex Murray getting those seat belts tightened one more time to try to get a good jump and hope not to get the bumper from one of these guys.
Very much so. Now the question is RJ Root, because this is exactly where he started the race, is he going to do the exact same move he did on the initial start and just bomb it going into 1 and hopefully catch Josh Ward sleeping? We're about to find out as the lights are out on the pace car. Alex Murray going to have the button one more time for what we hope is the final restart of the event. As the field works its way out of turn number 4, Ward already pushing on Murray to try to get him going early into the restart zone. Murray jumps on the trigger, and Ward's able to go with him.
Yeah, for sure. And something with the restart zone is if Alex Murray was going over the speed limit for that, he could get black flagged. So if he got pushed into a black flag, that would be awful.
Yes, it would. As right now, RJ Root and JC Gibson battling it out. Just a complete slugfest for 3rd. As Murray with breathing room, Ward with breathing room, but 0 breathing room as we've got 2 to go. RJ Root works the inside of Gibson and wrestles a spot away. Gibson going to try to cross him over. Gets to the inside, coming off a 2. Gibson a little bit sideways. It's going to open the door for Breidenbach to get
sideways!
to him.
Can't make out who that is. It might be Glenn Ballard.
That was Glenn Ballard going through the grass down the back chute. As white flag in the air one more time around. Alex Murray in command of this one. RJ Root and JC Gibson, your closest battle on track for the podium. As Gibson not having enough for Root. Murray, though, in complete dominance tonight, has led the vast majority of laps. Comes out of turn number 4, white flag, or checkered flag now in the air. As Root took one final shot at Ward. Ward going to come home in 2nd. Root hangs on for 3rd. Gibson in 4th. Austin Story rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, what a race we saw today. Great racing, and well, it almost worked out. Oh, Alex Princeton goes around.
What was that all about?
I got a DM on one of the restarts saying Alex Princeton almost turned Austin Story, so...
Oh, that's what we just saw on the back straightaway. Story turned him back.
Yeah.
That's a classic pit maneuver, and unfortunately Nicholas Breidenbach, a victim of circumstance there. Luckily it was after the checkers had flown.
As Alex Murray burns it down, he doesn't need that engine until Phoenix, I believe.
well deserved there, as he's got his teammates there to celebrate with him.
And we're going to go to commercial before we bring everybody in, and we'll be right back.
There's a new approach to lawn care, Preen 1 Lawn Care. Preen 1 does away with the hassle of multiple bags of different products. It has everything you need for a beautiful lawn in one bag. And all it takes is one application. For season-long weed control and feeding, apply the granules when the lawn is wet and weeds are actively growing. It blocks crabgrass all season. It prevents crabgrass seeds from growing. It kills the seedlings too, even when applied 4 weeks after they sprout. It's your best defense against tough weeds like dandelion, chickweed, henbit, and hundreds more. Plus, its slow-release formula feeds the lawn evenly for months to build stronger roots for maximum heat and drought resistance. Preen 1 delivers convenience and better performance in one package with one application. Spend more time enjoying your lawn and less time working on it. Preen 1, and it's done. It's a lawn dream come true.
Davis Brothers has been providing homeowners and businesses with exceptional roofing services since 1983. From repairing roofs on small homes to installing new roofs on large commercial retailers, no job is too big or too small. Your home is an important part of your life, and your roof is an essential part of your home. We understand that. Whether you're inspecting, repairing, or replacing your roof, we'll treat your home like it's our very own. Low slope, steep slope, big or small, it doesn't matter, we do them all. And remember, we have the capabilities and the manpower to take on any size job. When it comes to your roof, it's important to be proactive. Choose an experienced roofer you can trust. At Davis Brothers Roofing, we are your experienced roofer. Contact us today for a consultation and let us earn your trust.
You know that guy? The one who, just minutes before the green flag, keys up his mic and asks, "Anybody got a setup?" Well, this is him. This is Adam. And Adam needs some help. This, on the other hand, is Steve. Steve is a solid racer, and he knows his way around the garage. Steve's problem is time. With a job and a family, he can't find enough time to build competitive setups and to race as often as he likes. But Steve knows a secret. Steve lets our crew chiefs do the setup work so he can focus on the racing. At maturesgarage.com, Steve can get setups for over 50 cars on the iRacing service, so no matter what series he wants to jump into, he is covered. Somebody really should tell Adam.
I know belts and hoses, not X and O's. I do O2 sensors, but not defenses. Yeah, I make a right call to keep your car in the game. Don't even need a playbook, it's all in my brain. Fuel injectors, alternators, radiators too. It's who I am, it's what I do. Never know how. Never know how.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Davis Brothers Roofing Cup Series. I'm here with Alex Murray in the booth. How's it going, man?
Pretty good, Odie.
Hey, we saw you put on a clinic tonight, leading almost every lap. We saw RJ get around you for like a couple laps, but you got right back around him. So, how'd you get it done?
I just can't thank all the guys at Prodigy Esports enough, Frontline Esports. We put a really good setup together this week, and without them, definitely wouldn't be sitting in victory lane. But yeah, RJ, he was fast and he could keep up, and we were pretty even regardless of who was leading there. So I think it really came down to the tire saving strategy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we saw you had much better long run pace, but anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Prodigy Esports, Frontline Esports, Shamrock Auto Care, CPG Graphics, BD Technology Group, my girlfriend, her watch party she had going on, and everybody else at Frontline. They like I said, man, Frontline they help us out a lot, and all the guys at Prodigy do too. So can't thank them enough. And we're gonna go on to next week and try to get done at Pocono.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we'll let you go, and hopefully we see you back here next week.
10-4, thank you, man.
That was your race winner, Alex Murray, and I believe you got Josh Ward, Tony.
Josh Ward, driver of the Ace, coming home on the second step of the podium. All things considered, can't be too disappointed in that finish tonight.
Oh, it's honestly more than I could have ever expected at New Hampshire. Never would I ever have expected a second place, or even a podium, or even a top 5, honestly.
Well, I mean, you were able to duck and dodge the carnage that was the closing laps of this piece. And, I mean, you and JC Gibson were going after each other there in the last couple of restarts.
Oh, I was driving way over my head for a little bit. You saw me probably hit the wall with that second last caution. It was getting tighter and tighter on me, and I was trying to run on the top line, stay on throttle to make sure I get my rear end heated up, but it just wasn't enough. I ended up popping the wall right as the wreck came out behind me. The caution came out from behind me.
You definitely weren't the only one to pop that turn 2 wall tonight. But, I mean, Josh, you're able to hang on and get her done. Next time you're going to be, needing this engine and this car is when we go to Phoenix. But, I mean, talk us through did the thought of 2 tires ever cross your mind tonight?
No, it did not. I mean, our left sides were pretty good. It's not doing the thing that the trucks or the Xfinity car would do, where it really likes to heat up that rear end. Probably, I kind of blame it on the side force in those under series cars. We don't use side force anywhere near as much. If anything, y'all's going to end up throwing your rear end out of alignment. You're going to get loose. But the right sides were wearing out a lot, but those left sides, they were still getting pretty warm. So if you end up having a really hot left side tire, your tire pressure is going to pump up higher. Then whenever you put cold tires on the right-hand side, tires end up handling like spring. So what's going to happen is you're going to pretend like you've got really stiff springs on your left side. Then once you add them colder tires, your spring split gets pushed backwards. And I've never really been a fan of 2 tires. Maybe at a mile and a half, where I know I can warm them right sides up really quick, but I'm not a big fan of 2 tires in general, especially here track.
Well, Josh, again, congratulations on the podium. Who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate with your team?
Team Watson Racing setups. They are the on the car. I build their Xfinity setups for them, and their A car, Kenny Kapala. He does a wonderful job every week. Honestly, they're some of the more interesting setups I've ever driven. They're really fun, and I know that he finds good success in doing some of his A opens with them. Other than that, we got Ward's Record Service on the hood, LEJ's Boutique on the sides. We've got assorted sponsors on the door panel. I think a couple of them are probably going to be Bobby Blazer's Vintage. He's got an online shop. If you're interested in some vintage merch, go check him out. Other than that, I mean, everybody on the car, I'd like to thank them. But first, preeminently those that I named.
All right. Josh, again, congratulations. Best of luck to you next week.
You too.
And Joseph, I believe you've got the man in the 8 who came home in 3rd with you now.
Hey RJ, this is the broadcast booth. You got a copy on me, buddy?
I got you guys.
Hey, we saw you had a really fast car and was able to keep up with Alex Murray and even able to pass him at one point. Then we saw you got the speeding. Walk us through what happened on your way back through the field and if you had anything for Alex.
I really didn't feel like we had anything for Alex after about 8 laps. He just was able to save just a little bit better tire than me. But going through the field was a blast, really. The car had a lot more grip down on the first lane than I expected. and was able to pick up quite a few spots doing that. But I mean, overall, it was an amazing car, and just really happy that we were able to recover from the speeding penalty.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you definitely did a good job and were able to rebound really well. But is there anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
I'd like to thank Magic, Prodigy Esports, BD Technologies, Alex for the amazing setup, everybody over at Frontline also. And that's about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we're gonna let you go, and we'll see you next week at Pocono. I know you really like that track.
See you next week.
That was
So
RJ
Joseph,
Root
we've got
and
another one in the books.
Yep, we do, and I think that pretty much wraps everything up. And any last words, Tony?
Well, for Mr. Joseph Lester over in the production truck tonight, this is Tony Trapasser. Remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.